Black Critic Guy, here to share my quick thoughts, or should I say quick thoughts, considering the type of person that I am, hashtag Ramblin' Tony, on the second season to My Hero Academia. Now, as some of you are well aware, especially if you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and if you don't, I highly recommend that you do. You know that I was watching the entirety of the second season about 2 weeks ago, and after finishing it, I gotta tell you guys, I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. It did everything that I really loved from the first season, but also gave us a bit more. It went the extra mile, especially when it pertains to the characters. More on that a little later. Now, I'm not going to waste too much time going into the animation, the action, and voice acting. We come to expect those to be solid, especially if it's an action shonen. If you don't have good animation or exhilarating and fun action sequences, you're going to fail as an action shonen and you will not be able to compete with the competition. So, of course, the animation here is great. It's not amazing, but it is great for what it needed to be. And the action scenes, I thoroughly enjoyed watching. Some were very creative, others were traditional shonen type action, but all of them were entertaining. I enjoyed every single action scene in this anime, or in this second season, I should say. And the voice acting is solid. The Japanese voice actors and actresses were great with their deliveries. I have yet to hear the English dub done by Funimation, but I heard a lot of good things. And I just discovered that the woman who voices Uravity or Uraraka, I hope that's how you pronounce her name, but the woman who voices her is Lucy Christian. And when I found that out, I'm like, that is perfect casting. Because when I saw her face, Uraraka's face, I'm like, you know who'd be perfect to voice her? The girl who voiced Tenma Skamato, Lucy Christian. She just looks like a character that she would be perfect to play. And guess what? They actually got her to play her. And I'm like, that's fantastic. That's a great choice. But what I really want to discuss in regards to Season 2 are the two most pivotal elements that will make or break any movie, anime, or TV show. And if you follow my channel for all these years, you know exactly what I'm referring to. It's something that I bring up quite frequently and is a major vocal point in all of my reviews. And that's, of course, the story, which here is broken into 3 parts, or considering that this is a shonen action anime, 3 arcs, and the characters. Let's touch upon the story first, shall we? Now, as I mentioned before, it's broken into 3 arcs. The first is the obligatory tournament-style event, which here they call the Sports Festival, which I get, but I also find kind of funny considering that there isn't a lot of sporting going on in this so-called sports festival. But that's neither here nor there. That's a battle of semantics, honestly. It doesn't matter what it's called. What it is basically the students of UA participate in all these events in order to rise to the top and be #1 in front of all these spectators, which include veteran heroes and some recruiters and spotters who try to see who's doing well. Basically, people who are scouting these students to see who has the best skills, who has the great talent in order to recruit them to be a part of their agency. The second one is the internship / hero killer stain arc, where basically all the students from UA, they set off to go to these different internships where they get some knowledge and experience from veteran heroes, as well as having to deal with this vigilante known as Hero Killer Stain. And I love the fact that this show has vigilantes. I'm glad that it's not just black and white, here's the heroes, here's the villains, go at it. No, there's actually some people that are stark in the middle. And that's why, in my opinion, Hero Killer Stain is one of the most fascinating characters in the show so far. And he's not even in the entire second season. He's only in a little bit of the first half and a lot of the second half, but oh man, I wish he was in it more because he was fantastic and he's a freaking badass too. I mean, the way he would fight people and his little quirk, which I won't give away, that was freaking cool. One of my favorite scenes in the second season deals with him, where basically even though he has been chained up, he's been handcuffed and all that stuff, he finds a way to break out of that, save somebody, and then with his intimidation, make everybody fall to their feet. I'm like, holy shit, this guy, ooh. Oh my god, I cannot wait to see what you're gonna do later on, because there's no way they're just gonna write him out of the series. He's too good for that. And the third arc is the final semester, or semester exam arc. Now this is the shortest arc of them all. I think it's only like 5 or 6 episodes. But since it is vastly different from the other two, I decided to consider it its own story. And plus, the spotlight character for this particular part is different from the other two. And that's one thing I loved about each of these arcs. They each had a spotlight supporting character at the helms, sharing the screen time with Deku, or at least sharing the development with Deku. Because Deku will always be the main character, but then you also have like these supporting characters that will be in the spotlight and get some time to shine, and we learn a lot about them. And with that said, let's touch on the characters. Oh, before I say it, I really enjoyed the story here, or I guess the stories here. They were enjoyable. I was captivated, well fleshed out, interesting, solid stories. It's a good story for a shonen action anime. It's everything that it needed to be, honestly. Now moving on to the characters. Again, I love all the characters still. Every single one of them are great, and a lot of them get their time to shine in this season. I think one of my biggest concerns of the first season is that we didn't really get a lot of screen time with some of these fascinating characters. Well, they rectify that here in the second season. Like, there's this one character who's a bird. He has like a bird face, and he has this really cool power where he gets this shadow to come out and attack. He actually has a lot of screen time, and he actually joins Deku's team in the second part of the first arc, the sports festival. He actually joins his team and is very vital to that team's success. And I'm like, yeah, you go, Birdman. I don't remember your name, but you're really cool, and I like that. I'll give this away. He actually gets 3rd place in the sports festival. I won't say who's number 1 and number 2, but he's 3rd place, and I love the fact that he was 3rd place. He's freaking awesome. And as I mentioned before, in each arc, one supporting character gets the spotlight. In the first arc, it's this character named Shoto Todoroki. I believe that's how you say his name. I refer to him as anime Jon Snow because, I kid you not, he is the personification of A Song of Ice and Fire. He's half ice, half fire. Come on. He is literally Jon Snow. Spoiler alert for Game of Thrones fans, I'm sorry. The second arc, it focused on Deku's friend that looks like Hanai from School Rumble. His name is Edom. He's the guy that wears the glasses. I believe he's the student, he's the class representative. He's the guy that's very astute, serious, like, bow, kneel, do all this stuff. We gotta prepare for the teacher, you know, he's that type of character. And then the third arc, it's really focused on Bakugo, or Kachan as Deku calls him. Not a lot, but he is a vocal point in that third arc. So before I delve into those 3 characters, I just want to touch on the other characters that got a lot of screen time. Like, I really liked what they did with Eroica. God damn, that name it's such a tongue twister, but I liked what they did with her character. She had a moment where she had to realize what type of hero she wanted to be, and although she didn't get as much screen time as other characters or wasn't as fleshed out as most, she was given proper development. I understood her plight, and she was just a fascinating character. I rooted for her. I loved her so much. There was a lot of fun character interactions as well. There's these 2 characters who both have the ability to harden their bodies. Like, one character can harden his body, the other one can turn his body into steel, which makes them damn near indestructible. And they actually face off. They face off in the sports festival. It's just basically a battle of strength and who could outlast the other one, and it was pretty funny. And the way they decide that their little skirmish is through an arm wrestling match, because they both knock each other out. And like, okay, well, we'll resolve this later with like, I'll think of something, arm wrestling. They literally show a scene where they're arm wrestling. I'm like, okay, that's great. That is a great character interaction. And because they both have similar powers, although they're from different classes, they have this sort of rivalry at first, they actually become good friends because they share so much in common. And they even go on to be in the same internship, which just adds to the hilarity. I also like that they explored the other classes. Like, this is one character who has the ability to basically control somebody's mind. And the way that they set this character up, he's pretty much like an asshole, and you're supposed to hate him. But when you explore why he acts the way that he does, it makes a whole lot of sense why he was behaving like a total douchebag earlier. He has this resentment towards Class 1A. You know, they're like the prestigious students, the ones that are held up to such high regards and have these incredible powers. They're looked at as hero-type characters, whereas his ability doesn't seem like something that a hero should have. It's not something that's heroic, but he still strives to be a hero even in the face of adversity, and I actually respected that. Great boy. I'm sorry I don't remember their names. There's so many characters in the show, but trust me, I remember them. I just don't remember their names. But I remember Great Boy stood out to me so much, and I loved him already in the first season, and I loved him even more here in the second. I mean, he's a class pervert, and he's actually stronger than most people give him credit for. He's freaking fantastic. I like this character. Also, Frog Girl in the second arc gets a really interesting story that focused solely on her. I like that they did this. It really goes to show you how skillful she is and resourceful she is. I like that they focused on her. But truly the main standouts of Season 2, besides Deku of course, is the three characters I mentioned earlier that are the vocal points of each arc. Let's start with the first arc, focusing on anime Jon Snow. He just might be the best character in this series, even better than Deku. I love Deku. His character arc is very well done. His storyline, I like it a lot. It's very stereotypical, but I do enjoy it. I just find anime Jon Snow way more fascinating than any other character. I feel like he deals with the most interesting drama. The conflict that this character deals with is a pretty heavy conflict because it's not one that can be solved with just punching your way out of it. It's more internal and dealing with family dynamics. And it really helps to paint an interesting picture of what family life is with great heroes. It kind of reminds me of a story I heard once when I was in high school where this family was on a talk show, and this talk show host was talking about how great this one man, he was a cop, how great he was as a cop and what he did for the community. And the woman, looking at the picture and hearing about what the husband did, started crying. The host asked, "Why are you crying?" And she says, "Because I have no idea who that man is. The man that comes home is not that man. He's a complete asshole, he's abusive, he's hateful, he's scornful. He's not the hero that you all see him to be." That same story applies to anime Jon Snow, because his father is actually the second best hero in the world. His name is Endeavor, but I'll touch on him a little later when we talk about the second arc, because it plays into what I mentioned earlier about he has a different persona. He has a different persona publicly as he does privately, because privately he's a terrible father. He doesn't treat his son like a son. He doesn't act like a father to him. He uses his son as a pawn piece in order to get the advantage of an adversary. In this case, it would be All Might. Since All Might's number one, he decided, you know what? I'm gonna find the woman with the most suitable genes to create the most powerful hero that can top you, All Might. And I love this dilemma that the character was facing, kind of the duality of his soul. Next, we talk about the spotlight character in Arc 2, which is Edom. But before I get to that, one thing I found interesting about Season 2 is that they don't go down the cliche route of having all the friends like stick together or buddy, we're all teaming up. I like the fact that a lot of people have rivalries, even though they're friends with each other. One of the best moments in Season 2 is where Deku is trying to form a team because he has the most points out of everybody, and they have to do this round 2 thing where they all team up and take other people's points. And he reaches out to, of course, Eroica, who says, "Yeah, I'll team up with you." And then he also reaches out to Edom. He's like, "Edom, join us! You know, we're friends, let's all do this together." He's like, "Nope, I'm not teaming up with you, man. I also, just like anime Jon Snow, I see you as a rival, and I'm gonna defeat you any way that I can. I mean, you're my friend, you know, I care deeply for you, but right now, we're rivals, and I want to prove myself to be the best hero here." I like the fact that he did that, because they easily could have made him team up with Deku and like, oh, the friends are back together again, they're gonna overcome adversity. It's far more dynamic and leads to much more interesting conflict where you actually have this friends group that gets split. This is kind of like a schism there. Not a deep one, but there is one presented. You can tell that Ida, though not jealous, envies how powerful Deku is, and does see him as a rival, as somebody that he aspires to defeat. So that's why he would team up with anime Jon Snow. And I love the fact that they did that instead of copping out and make all the friends come together. Also, it gave us a chance to see Deku interact with other characters. His team was fantastic. I liked his team. Going back now to the second arc. In the second arc, it focuses heavily on Ida, who at this moment is pent up with anger and frustration and is seeking vengeance for what Hero Killer Stain did to his brother. And it's all reasonable. Any human would want to take revenge on the person that harmed their family. That's just human nature. You want to do something like that. But it's not very heroic, and it's something that is addressed in this very arc. Not only by the heroes, but also by the vigilantes. Like, you came all the way here to fight me? You do realize I'm holding this one hero hostage right now. I literally am about to kill this guy, and all you can think about is, oh, I'm gonna kill you. That's not very hero-like. And I really liked how he dealt with this conflict of what really defines him as a hero. Can he really be a hero? I loved how they fleshed this character out. I love the conflict he dealt with, and I loved his resolution. Very well done. And I also like the whole team up of Ida, Deku, and anime Jon Snow. Three of the strongest characters, or three of the strongest freshman characters in the show. I love that. Also, kind of to touch on the second arc a little bit, I mentioned that it's all about internships. One of the best things about the second arc is that we actually see all the various heroes in their various internships and what they all had to deal with. You know, some actually did some heroic things, others did not. There's a lot of hilarious moments. Oh my god. To delve into all of them would take forever, but it was a hoot. I enjoyed it a lot. And then the third arc focused mainly, or not focused, but the spotlight was on Bakugo. And what I loved about it is that finally I didn't see him as this hero that will potentially become a villain. He'll fall from grace. I understand now why he's so aggressive about being a hero. Why he's so adamant and why he never gives up. Why he's so fierce about it. And the fact that they team him up with Deku, great idea. That's the best thing you could have done. And to see them kind of having to cooperate with each other is fantastic. It's not only a great conflict between them, but seeing it being resolved and seeing them team up to face off against All Might, not only was the action exhilarating, but it was so cathartic too. It made me feel really good to see these two not really rekindle their friendship, but kind of learn to trust each other and understand that even though we might not like each other that much, or at least Bakugo will not like Deku that much, we can work towards a common goal. We both want to be heroes. We both want to succeed, so let's succeed then. Pertaining to the third arc, I love the various exams that all of the heroes did. And we finally get to see some of the teachers who are also heroes utilize their powers. Like the principal, we finally learned what the principal's power is. I won't give it away here, but it's kind of a letdown for me. I thought he would have a much cooler power, or a much cooler quirk. I mean, it's not bad, it's just, it's not really that flashy. I can't even really describe it, because it doesn't really stand out that much to me. And I'm like, damn it, dude, he made this cute little thing, you know, he's the principal. I thought, oh, he must be secretively a badass, but no. Though he has a potentially interesting backstory, because they do bring it up, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to explain that later on. And also address the question that I have about people looking like half animal, half human. How did that happen? Again, they touch on it, and I hope they explore it more later on. And the way that the season ends, actually, you know what? Now that I finished talking about the characters and their arcs and all that stuff, I guess we should talk about the things I didn't like about season 2. And I don't have much, but I do have a few. Personally, I think my biggest problem with season 2 was the lack of further development between Deku and Eroica. Now, I know what you're all gonna say, Tony, that's not the freaking point of My Hero Academia. This isn't a romance, Tony. It's a shonen action. It's all about the action. It's all about the character development. That's what the show is about. Fair enough. Fine. But god damn it, if you're gonna hint at the fact that Eroica has feelings for Deku, and Deku clearly has feelings for her, why can't we have an episode where it's just them two? Like a little cute episode where they go on a date. Hell, the last episode, they're all at the mall. They all they all split up into teams. Guess who's paired up together? Deku and Eroica. And what happens? She runs off. It's like, oh my god, why am I thinking about that right now? Oh, why did you have to say that, man? Oh, the hell, dude. Why couldn't you just stay there and act awkwardly? Like, it would have been so cute. So cute, it would have led to so many hilarious moments. Maybe even do a role reversal of like damsel in distress. What if Deku gets kidnapped? I mean, they kind of did that a little bit too, because I don't want to give it away, but let's just say that Deku's placed in a pretty compromising situation in the last episode. And who knows, Eroica could have been a hero at that moment and save him. And I'm like, oh, that would have been great. And we could see them coming together. Oh, it's so cute. No, there's not a moment like that. We don't get that. We get those really small, short moments where they don't want to tell each other that they like each other, even though it's obvious to everybody. Am I the only one that felt that way? You know, I just feel like they copped out. You know, they tease us and tease us and tease us, but they don't give us the satisfaction of a payoff. I mean, it's so freaking hard to have these two end up together now. Do we really have to slog through so many episodes and chapters of them? Will they? Won't they? It's that cliche that I hate. Will they? Won't they? I mean, we kind of know they will. There's no other, like, who else would Deku end up with? What, Frog Girl? You make a good argument there, but I doubt it. She doesn't even have feelings for him, so no. Maybe it's because I'm such a huge fan of romance that I take this so personally, that I get so angry about it. But man, it would have helped to develop their relationship, make their relationship stronger, and could have led to some interesting character interactions. But no, they squander it, even though they were given a good chance to do something with it. Another problem I had was the last episode. I found it to be quite underwhelming. I thought it was gonna be this really big thing. Oh my god, what's happening? Or maybe it could have been like a really small rest time, a little break in between seasons kind of thing. But no, it's, you know, they go to the mall. Deku and Eroica have that little moment that she runs away, and then Deku confronts or is confronted by one of his adversaries that kind of holds him the equivalent of at gunpoint. And that's pretty much that episode. And then the big reveal of who our main villain is. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Oh, one thing I forgot to bring up in the second arc, I mentioned about Endeavor, right? The hero, the father of anime Jon Snow. So in the first arc, the way that they present this character, he's an asshole. You hate him. He's an arrogant, pompous son of a bitch who treats his son like shit, probably treats his whole family like shit. But even though he treats his family like shit, even though his private life is despicable, he actually lives up to the title of being the second best hero. I mean, he is incredible when he's doing his heroics. When the second arc comes in and all these villains are attacking the city, he shows up and he shows off, basically. And what I loved about this is that they actually show him to be this incredible hero. It's not just all talk. One thing I found interesting is how methodical and intelligent he was. He's very strategic when it comes to fighting. Like, there's this villain that's attacking the city, and he realizes that the guy can heal. So he's like, okay, well, I guess I better turn the heat up. Blast his head off. Like, wow. And it took him a split second to realize that. He just put the pieces together and was like, oh, okay, that's what I need to do. So I'm glad that they showcased that. You know, he's not just this one-note character that's a complete asshole to his family, and then we're gonna hate him. You gotta at least show that he is this hero-type character. He has heroics. They did that in flying colors. So, with all of that rambling out of the way, what would I give My Hero Academia Season 2? I definitely think it is one hell of an anime. It's very enjoyable. It is definitely better than Season 1. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for Season 3. So with all that said, guys, what did you guys think of the second season of My Hero Academia? Comment below and let me know. And I probably will do this from now on when second seasons come out, instead of doing a whole review. I'm probably going to do this same thing with Blade Runner 2049, and then I'm going to get back to the regular reviews, the regular style of my reviews. Almost burped there. So stay tuned for all that. So many videos coming down the pipeline. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry that I rambled. It's kind of my thing. But as always, guys, if you would like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic Group, please hit the subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. Thank you to all the Patreons who are being listed right here for donating to my Patreon account and help keep this channel afloat. Your support means so much to me. And if you would like to support this channel and help it grow, please think about donating to my Patreon account. Link is in the description. And as always, guys, I'm the Black Critic Guy. Until then, peace, YouTube.